So this morning we are going to need a lot of space. So as you make your way onto your mat, you need to have enough room to reach your arms out, and you maybe even have room to take your leg all the way across. So if you're in a kind of a tight space, I want you to push your furniture apart so that you have lots of room. And then make your way over to your mat, and we'll begin lying down. So as we lie ourselves back, let's place our feet on the floor. And I often notice this sort of sigh that comes out of my mouth when I lie down. So just notice what happens when you lie down. Notice what it feels like to lie down. And just let's embrace this experience like it's brand new, like it's the first time we've ever done this. So without any sort of bias to what it normally feels like to lie down, how does it feel this time? What sensations do you feel when you lie down in your physical body? And when your body lies down and you just give yourself permission to relax into the support of the floor, does that change the way your mind feels? This is our yoga practice, and we've been practicing, some of us, for quite a long time. And so our bodies understand that we're giving themselves this time to really embrace what we're feeling. We're taking time out of the rest of our day to focus on ourselves and to get in touch with our present moment experience. And that's a good thing. There's a lot going on around us in our world, and we can't let that be the thing we focus on all the time. We need to take time out and just focus on ourselves to give us the strength and resilience to then be able to deal with all the things that are going on in the rest of the world. So take this time and notice how you're feeling. Let your body relax. Notice how it feels when your body relaxes. Just release the tension, the stress that tends to creep into your body. Perhaps consider softening the roof of your mouth, softening and broadening your palate. And let's spend some time just diving into the experience of breathing. Feeling your in-breath deepening and expanding a bit more than usual into your lungs, into your ribs. And then feeling the feeling of letting the breath go, letting it empty out. Slowing down and deepening the breath, breathing in through the nose if you can, as the breath expands, front, sides, back of the body. And then giving that exhalation whatever time it needs to empty and release all the way out of you. Dive in deeply and feel and experience your deep breathing. Changing the breath in this way, where it's really big and expansive, can help to focus our attention on the breath. Letting the breath empty all the way out can reset the nervous system by releasing the diaphragm. And now, can we transition to a more natural breath rhythm and still maintain our focused awareness on our breathing? Practice focusing your mind on one thing right now, just your breath. Practice bringing your mind back to your focus if your mind begins to wander, which it probably will. So we're practicing paying attention, being mindful. We're going to try to bring that mindfulness to our movement practice in a moment or two. But before we begin our movement practice, just take a moment to honor and recognize how you're feeling mentally, emotionally this morning. And decide if you'd like to set an intention or a focus or something you'd like to invite in or cultivate this morning. And if you want to have that one sort of overarching theme or focus or intention, breathe that in now. Default is always love and compassion. Maybe there's something else you'd like to focus on this morning. So breathe it in, one more breath. And then let's open our eyes. So we're going to start by taking our arms out to the side. Again, you got to move everything away. So you have plenty of room to have your arms out to the side. And then reach your arms up and overhead. And as your arms go up and overhead, if your back wants to arch, that's fine. Just let your body do whatever it wants to do. And then take your arms out to the side and then let them slide down by your hips alongside your body. So do that a few times. It's kind of like snow angels. Take your arms out and overhead as you breathe in. And then circle them out to the side and down alongside your body as you breathe out. And I think it's kind of nice to imagine the snow angel, like we got plenty of snow, but it's a little bit warmer than doing it outside. In fact, we could do that with our legs. Let's do real snow angels. Let's take our legs out as we take our arms overhead and slide our legs in. It's a little tricky with your sticky mat maybe, but maybe try it again. Inhale and snow angel overhead and exhale and bring it back down. All right, great. Slide your feet in and then take your feet off the floor and give your knees a hug and maybe circle a little bit with your knees. Just kind of giving your back a little massage as you circle your knees around in one direction and then circle your knees around in the other direction. And then just hug your knees in close. And we're going to let the knees drop over so you're rolling to face your computer. So you have your knees stacked one on top of the other. And I hope you can see me okay. And then have your arms out in front. So your bottom arm on the floor and your top arm on top of it. And we're going to take that top arm, we're just going to reach it down by our hips. So we're going to reach it behind us. And then we're going to reach it overhead. And then we're going to circle it forward. So big circles. We're going to reach the arm down and back and reach it up and overhead and around and forward. A couple more like that. That arm is circling down and behind and overhead and forward. One more time in this direction. So any movement of the shoulder that doesn't feel good, you know, kind of just switch it up so it feels all right for your body. We're going to circle the arm the other way, up and overhead, reach it behind, circle it down and around, forward, up and overhead, around and behind, and forward. One more time like that, circling that arm around in a way that feels all right for your body. And then have your arms stacked one on top of the other. Take your bottom leg now and straighten it out. So your top knee comes to the floor, your bottom leg is straight. This top arm, reach it further forward than where the bottom hand is, reach it forward, and then reach it up, and then we're gonna reach it behind us. And that knee on the floor can come off the floor. If it does, that's fine. So reaching back, take a breath, and then bring the arm up, bring it down and reach it forward, stretch it towards your device. And then we're going to reach it up and reach it behind and take a breath. And then reach it up and reach it forward. So we're just kind of moving the body in different ways, kind of waking up the rib cage. So if this feels good, do it. If it doesn't feel good, change it up so that it feels all right for your body. And we're going to reach that arm forward again. Okay, so now slide your knees so that they're stacked. And then now take the top leg and straighten it out, and we're going to push ourselves up. Okay, so we have kind of bent knees and we've come up, and we're going to take your hand that's further from your device on the floor. Your other arm is going to sweep around towards the wall behind you, and then it's going to reach forward, and it's just going to reach back behind us. We're going to reach that arm forward and swing it around towards the wall behind. And then we're going to open it up and reach back. Okay, great. All right, we're going to just take our legs and swing them around. And we're going to lie with our heads on the other side of our mat. And we're going to do that whole series again. So we're gonna just take the arms and sweep them up, kind of the snow angel thing again. We won't do the legs. We'll just sweep them out and down at our sides. Sweep the arms out and up and overhead and back down alongside our bodies. One more time, inhaling as the arms go overhead and exhaling as the arms come down. And then we'll take our feet off the floor and hug the knees in. And then again, we're going to roll over to the side so that our knees are stacked. Our bottom arm is on the floor. We'll take our top arm, so hand on top of the other hand. We're going to take that top arm, we're just going to swing it down by our hip. We're going to reach it back towards the wall behind us, circle that arm overhead, and then swing it around and forward. So big circles down and back and behind and overhead and around and forward. One more time in this direction, circling that arm back and up and around, and then the other way. And if some part of this circle doesn't feel great for your arm, you could try bending the elbow so you've got a shorter lever, or you could just take parts of the circle out or shorten up the bigness of the circle, whatever feels good here. All right. So as that arm swings around and comes parallel with your other arm, we're going to take the bottom leg and straighten it out. So the top knee can kind of come to the floor. Take this top arm and reach it more forward towards your device. And then bring it back, and we're going to reach it behind. So you're looking up at the ceiling. And then we're going to bring it back and reach it forward towards what you're looking at. And then bring it back and open up. So we're just kind of loosening up the rib cage here. Kind of stretching out the side body a little bit. Reach it forward and then reach it back. Take a breath as you open up here. And then we're going to bring that arm forward. Let's slide the knees one on top of the other. And then we'll slide the top leg straight. We're going to push down to bring ourselves up here. And then the hand that's further away is on the floor. The arm that's closer to your device, we're just going to reach it behind and kind of turn towards the wall behind. And then we're going to open that arm out and reach back behind. So just try that, swinging the arm around towards the wall behind you, and then swinging the arm around towards the wall behind you the other way. Yeah, just kind of some different ways to move the body. All right, let's come on to all fours now. and cushion your knees if that would be more comfortable, because we are going to put all the weight on one knee. So as you get nice and square, knees beneath hips, wrists beneath shoulders, we're going to just take the leg that's closer to our device and we're going to have a bent knee and we're going to make circles at the hip. Circle that bent knee around and back and down. Circle it around, back and down. We're circling in one direction. Let's change direction on that circle. Circle the knee the other way around and down. Great. All right, the next time the knee comes down, we're going to take that leg and extend it straight back. And we're just going to let the toe touch the floor and lift the leg up. Then take that leg out to the side and lower down so the foot touches the floor and then lift it up. Take the leg back, lower the toe down and lift it up. Swing the leg out to the side, lower it down and lift it up. One more time through like that. Swing the leg back, press out through the heel, touch the toe and lift it up. Take it out to the side. This time lower the foot down. We're going to keep the foot down now. Your foot is flexed. And could you take your hips back a little bit here? You might feel a little stretch along the inner line of that leg that's out to the side. And then come forward. Try that again. Take the hips back a little bit. So these are some different kind of movements. So maybe they'll feel really nice in your body. If they don't feel great, kind of don't go as deep or maybe choose to do something else. Just open up to the experience, notice how it feels. So now with your leg out to the side, kind of align your spine a bit here and see how it would feel to do a little bit of cow pose. So it's kind of arch your back, bring your heart forward, breathe in. And then how would it feel to do cow pose? I'm sorry, cat pose, round into cat pose, and then arch into cow pose. So if that feels all right, you might try that again. With your leg out to the side, it kind of changes the experience here. Quite different. Some of you might really enjoy it. Some of you might feel that it's a little too weird for you. So bring the knee back. And then you can just take the other leg out to the other side. I don't really have enough room, so I'm going to swing around the other direction. So we're just going to do the other leg. So again, we're going to start out nice and square, and we're going to lift the knee up and circle it around and down. Lift the knee up, circle it around and down. And just a few more times, just range of motion in that hip joint here. Let's go the other direction, bent knee, circles in the other direction. Kind of wonderful to have these socket joints that can do big circles, right? Let's take that leg now and extend it straight back, press out through the heel, and we're just going to lower the toe down to touch and then bring the leg back up. Let's take that leg out to the side now and lower the inner line of the foot down and lift it back up. And then we'll take the leg back, press out through the heel, lower down, touch the toe and bring it up. Take that leg out to the side, lower it down, inner foot, and lift it up. One more time, back, lower down, touch, and lift it up. And then out to the side. This time as you lower that inner line of your foot onto the floor, we'll keep that leg there, straight out to the side. And then how would it feel to take your hips back a little bit? And then rock forward. Some of you might want to go further back than I'm going. Further back for my knee wouldn't feel great, but some people might enjoy going further back. So just kind of explore how this feels to take the hips back and forward. And then you might explore arching your back, extending your spine with your in-breath. You might explore rounding your back with your exhale. You might want to do a big movement here. You might just want to try a little movement here. What feels good? Kind of different. And then just neutral spine. We'll bring that knee in and let's sit back into child's pose here. So sit back on your heels, let your body round, let your head be supported. Take some time here to check in. We're trying some new things, so it's easy to focus our awareness when we're trying new things. We kind of have to pay attention to figure out what we're doing. Now we come into this very familiar place, child's pose, and it's this lovely opportunity to check in with how we're doing. Check in with our intention. Connect with our breath, our bodies. All right, when we're ready, let's lift our heads up and reach our arms way out in front. We'll make our way to downward facing dog. So as our hands press down and our hips draw back, let's shake our heads a little bit. Free up the neck and shoulders. Just, you can make circles, you can shake it yes and no. But then just let your head, the weight of your head, feel kind of like a bowling ball, just kind of hanging off of your spine. Just free up the neck here. And then let's bend a knee and press a heel down. And bend the other knee and press the other heel down. And just alternate like that again, each side. And then bend both your knees a bit and draw your hips way up and back. Lengthen your spine. Deep breath in and out here. Broaden across your upper back between your shoulder blades, and one more deep breath in and out. And then we'll walk our hands back towards our feet, lowering our heels. Fold it over here, ragdoll, arms and head loose and heavy. We'll take a breath into the upper back. As the breath empties, feel your feet on the floor, draw your belly in and roll yourself up. Take your time to roll up and unfurl your spine. Feel your spine aligning itself. Let's roll the shoulders forward and up and back and down. We'll do that again. Roll the shoulders forward and up and back and down. As we root down through the feet, let's reach the arms out. We'll inhale and reach up. Big breath. As we exhale, we're going to swan dive forward, folding over again. And from here, I want you to walk your hands forward and make your way. You can start in like a down dog. And then we're going to walk all the way into a plank. So lower your hips down into a plank position. If you want to put your knees down, you can. But let's get long, either from knees to ears or from ankles to ears. One nice long line. We'll take a breath here. As we exhale, let's lower our knees down and then lower our chest into the floor. Coming onto belly, letting your chest get as close to the floor as you can. Really sink your chest down. Maybe sliding the heels of your hands back a bit. Bring your nose so it's just a centimeter off the floor. The crown of your head extending forward like a turtle, kind of beginning to stretch its head out of its shell as your toes reach back. Let's inhale up to baby cobra, drawing the heart forward, just lengthening the spine, and then we'll lower back down. Let's inhale and do that again, coming up to baby cobra, and we'll lift our hands up. We'll lift the elbows up and hug in, kind of wake up those upper back muscles that squeeze in, your scapula squeezing in towards your spine, and then release your hands, release your chest, sink close to the floor again. And then this time, hands stay down. We'll inhale up to baby cobra and maybe continue up into cobra. And then we'll lower back down. Let's push up to knees. Curl the toes under and lift the knees. And then lift the hips up and back to down dog. We'll breathe in and out here. And then looking forward, walk your feet up toward your hands. We'll plant our feet beneath us. From here, we can sweep our arms out and inhale and rise up, reach up. We'll exhale our arms down at our side. And again, we're going to root down, inhale and reach out and up. Exhale and swan dive forward. We'll bring our hands to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. Let's take a breath in here. Exhale and lower to straight arm plank. We'll take a breath in here. Exhale and lower all the way down to belly, prone mountain. Let's inhale up to baby cobra or cobra and exhale back down. And then make our way up and back to downward facing dog. We'll breathe in and out here. And then let's again drop to knees. And we're gonna lift our hands up. We're gonna step the right foot out in front. Let's get that heel under the knee or forward of the knee, and then let the back hip sink forward. The weight go into the front knee. And then we'll push back. Let's put a little weight in the back knee and shin and do that again. Let the weight shift forward. And then push the weight back. One more time, a little weight in the back knee and shin as the weight shifts forward. And then the same arm as the back leg, we'll sweep it up in the air. And then if we like, we'll add the other arm reaching up. Big breath in as we reach up. And then we'll exhale our hands down to the floor, maybe sinking a little further into this. Now, could we from here curl the back toes under and press up into a lunge, making sure our feet are hip distance apart, not narrower here. Then we could bring our hands onto this front knee. Let's push to straighten the front leg, and then we'll bring our hands to hips. Can we square our hips to the front line of the mat? And then bend the front knee. Push the front foot down to straighten. Bend the front knee. Push that front foot down to straighten. A couple more like that. Really feel the grounding in your front foot for stability. As we bend the front knee this time, let's keep the knee bent. We'll lower the arms down and let's reach them out and up and overhead. Letting the shoulders and ribs lift up as we stretch up and breathe in. And then we'll exhale our hands all the way down to the floor. And either drop to knees and go back to down dog or just step back to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out here. You could stay here or drop to your knees, or we could flow again into straight arm plank. Lowering all the way down to belly. Inhaling up to baby cobra or cobra. And exhaling back down. And making our way up and back to down dog. We'll breathe in and out here. And let's again drop to knees. We'll stand on our knees, bringing our arms up, and we'll take the left foot out in front. And then hands on that front knee. Let's just let the weight shift into the front foot. And then we'll push the weight back. Let's put a little weight in the back knee and shin as we bend the front knee forward. And then push back. One more time. A little weight in the back knee and shin as the front knee moves forward. Then the same arm as the back leg. We'll sweep that one up first with a breath. And then that breath can go. Then we'll sweep the other arm up with another breath. And then we'll exhale our hands down, maybe sinking a little further. And then can we curl the back toes under and push up to lunge? Make sure your feet are as wide as your hips, and then front hands can come to the front knee. Let's straighten the front leg. Bring our hands to hips, square our hips to the short front line of our mat. So ideally that back heel is lifted, pointing straight back, And then we'll bend the front knee forward. Push that foot down to straighten. Bend the front knee forward. Feel the grounding in the front foot for stability as we bend and straighten that front knee. The next time we bend the front knee, we'll pause here and then drop the arms down. Let's reach the arms out, reach the arms up. Take a big breath in as we stretch up and overhead. And then we'll exhale our hands all the way down to the floor. You can drop to knees or just step back to down dog. So I'll make our way to downward facing dog and breathe in and out. And we'll flow one more time. Straight arm plank. Let's try a little bend in the elbows here. Elbows pointing back. Still keeping that support of the hips here, not letting them drop down. We'll take another breath. And then we'll lower all the way down onto belly. All right, let's just come onto forearms. We'll get our elbows right beneath us. Measure fingertip to elbow. So those elbows are right underneath your shoulders. And then press down to lift the chest up. We're going to do progressive plank here. So right now, your hips are on the floor and your belly is relaxed into the floor. So I want you to take a breath in. As you exhale, I want you to lift your navel up off the floor. Take another breath in. And with this exhale, try to lift your pelvis off the floor. So the weight is on the front of your thighs. Take another breath in. With this exhale, lift your thighs up off the floor so the weight is on your knees. Take another breath in. And with the next exhale, curl your toes under and lift your knees up. So you're in a full forearm plank. Take a breath in and out here. We'll take another breath, and with the next exhale, we're going to let the knees drop down, but not the thighs. We'll take another breath in. With this exhale, we'll let the thighs come down, but not the pelvis. Take another breath in. With this exhale, let your pelvis come down, but keep your navel pulled in. Take another breath. And with this exhale, let the belly relax. Go ahead and let your chest drop to the floor, elbows wide. Let your head rest on your hands. Give everything a break. Just let everything relax here as you take a deep breath in and out. And again, nice, deep, relaxing breath in and out. All right, we're going to do that progression again. So again, get your forearms right underneath you, your elbows right under your shoulders. Slice down with your arms to lift your chest. Your belly is relaxed now. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lift the navel off the floor. Take another breath in. With the next exhale, lift your hips up, but your thighs are still down. Take another breath in. With this exhale, lift your thighs up, just your knees are down. Take another breath in. With this exhale, curl your toes under and lift your knees into a full forearm plank. And take a breath in and out here. Great. We'll reverse it now. We'll take a breath in. With this exhale, we'll let the knees drop down, but not the thighs. We'll take another breath in. With this exhale, let your thighs come down, but not your hips, not your pelvis. Take another breath in. With this exhale, let your hips come down, but not your navel yet. Take another breath and then relax your navel, your belly. Again, let your chest lower down, elbows wide. Let your head rest on your hands. Take a nice relaxing breath in and out. Upper body can stay relaxed now. Begin to press the front of the hips down. Begin to press the tops of the feet down. And then lift the legs up. Toes pointed back. Legs are reaching back. Can you lift the legs a little bit higher? Can you bring your heels in towards each other? They can either just move in or maybe they touch. And then separate them a bit. Again, hug your heels in towards your midline. And then separate them. One more time, hug your heels in. Separate your legs, maybe lift them up a little bit higher with a breath. And then relax them down. Now we're going to hover our heads and bring our arms to our side, palms up, fingertips reaching back. Let's start with the legs. We'll press the front of the hips down, lift the legs up, and then reaching back through the fingertips, we'll pull the heart forward and lift the chest up. So we get as long as we can here, and then can we lift up a bit more? Lift the legs, lift the heart, reach back. Take one more breath. Nice work. And then relax down. Bring your hands next to chest. Push back to knees. Take the hips all the way back. Sit back into child's pose. Rounding over the legs. Nice chance to check in here. What are you offering yourself? What are you inviting in? With your next breath in, lift your head up, reach your arms out, make your way to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out here. And then walk your hands back towards your feet, lowering your heels down. From here, let's bend our knees and lower our hips. We'll swing the arms forward so we're sitting back in a low chair. Let's take the arm that's closest to our device, sweep it down and behind, open into a twist here. Take a breath. Sweep that arm down and forward. Take the other arm, sweep it down and behind, open into a twist. Try not to let that same knee as your back arm pull back. Then sweep that arm down and forward. Stay low, but bring your arms up by your ears. Breathe in and out here. And then push down to rise up, reach up, breathe in. And then exhale your arms down to your side. Nice job. Let's turn and face our device, feet stepping wide now. We can turn our right foot in and turn our left foot out. Hands can be on hips. Let's make sure that back foot is angling in and that foot is firmly planted. And then we'll bend the front knee and straighten it. Getting the feet a nice distance apart so that you can drop as deeply into this sort of side lunge as you can comfortably. The next time the front knee is bent, pause here. And let's try lifting this front heel up just a teeny bit. And then imagine you're pulling that heel back towards your midline. So the energy of the heel is pulling back. And you're going to notice that's going to activate this inner line of the leg and maybe into the pelvic floor a little bit. So you're pulling that heel back. We'll take a breath and then let that heel go back down. Now, from right here, right in your belly, tip your hips over and let your bottom arm rest on this bottom leg. Take the other arm forward. And we're going to open that arm up toward the ceiling. You can look up at that arm if you like. And then we're going to let that arm come down. And we're going to let that arm drop so your shoulders face the floor. Then we're going to turn the shoulders to our device and open up toward the ceiling and breathe in. And then we're going to let that arm come forward, rotate the shoulders down toward the floor. Similar to what we were doing on our back, we're going to open up toward the ceiling here. And then this time, we're going to bring that arm forward. Actually, let's place that hand on our hip. We're going to turn our gaze to the floor. We're going to place our hand on this front shin. Can we keep our head where it is and start to try and straighten the front leg a bit, not letting the head draw back. And the front leg might get straighter, it might get a little bit straight. Bend the knee again. Again, notice where your gaze is. Try not to let your head move back as you start to work to straighten the front leg. And then however straight your front leg is, take that arm that's on your hip, that hand, reach it towards your device again. And same thing, we're gonna open that arm up toward the ceiling and breathe in. You can look up if you like. And then bring the arm forward and let it rotate down toward the floor, your shoulders toward the floor, and then shoulders towards your device. Open the arm up, breathe in, and then let it come forward and down toward the floor. This time, take that arm out and open up. We're going to breathe in and out here. And then let's press down to rise up. Great. We'll turn the feet forward. We'll go to the other side. So we're going to turn this back foot in. We're going to turn this front foot out. Really get that back foot angled in and pressing down. And then we're going to bend the front knee and straighten it. And bend the front knee and straighten it. One more time like that. And then the next time the knee is bent, let's keep it bent. And we're just going to lift that heel a teeny bit. And then feel like you're pulling the heel back. The energy of the heel is pulling back. So there's all kinds of work in the leg here. As the heel feels like it's pulling back. Take a breath. And then let the heel release down. And then we're going to tip the hips over, bringing this front arm on this front leg. We'll let this other arm reach forward. Let's inhale and open it up. And then let the arm come forward. And we're going to let the arm drop down, rotating the shoulders towards the floor. And then we're going to rotate arm toward the device, opening the chest, reaching up, breathing in. Exhaling, arm reaching forward and down. One more time. Inhale, rolling the arm up. Exhale, rolling the arm down. Now bring that arm that was moving onto your hip. Take this bottom hand on your shin. Looking down at your foot, notice where your gaze is. Try to keep your head where it is as you try to straighten your front leg. And then you can bend the knee again. Let's try that again. Try not to let your head draw back as you work to straighten the front leg. However straight that leg is, take the hand on your hip again, reach it towards your device, and then open the arm up. Breathe in, and then exhale that arm down, shoulders toward the floor. Inhale, open the arm up toward the ceiling. Exhale, release that arm down. One more time. Inhale that arm up toward the ceiling. And then let's push down to rise up. Nice work. We'll bring the feet forward. We'll walk the feet in, or we could jump our feet together. All right, we're going to come all the way down onto the floor. We're going to sit. I'm just going to angle my computer a little. There we go. So we're sitting, and we'll sit in bound angles. We'll put our feet together. And I always find in bound angles, some of us are more comfortable holding here. Some of us are better off with our hands behind. Some of us would benefit from sitting up on a blanket or something so that the knees might have a little support and be less high up. So as we're here, wherever our hands are, let's press our feet into each other, actively pushing the feet in so that we're working inner line of the legs a little bit. The knees might rise up a bit as we press our feet together. And then let go of pressing the feet together. Then we're going to press the knees away from each other, broadening them out away from center. And take a breath in and out. And then ease off on that work. And then we're going to press the feet in and also press the knees out, trying to do both actions at the same time. So it's a very active bound angle pose here. And we'll breathe in and out. And then let go of all that effort. We're going to bring our hands behind now, bring the knees up, and walk the feet apart so that the heels are wider than the hips. We're going to roll to the sides of the feet and let the knees drop to one side, and then bring them back up. Roll to the sides of the feet, let the knees drop to the other side, and bring them back up. This time we're going to roll to that first side, and we're going to let both knees come all the way down onto the floor. This hand from behind can come up. So you've kind of got a 90-degree angle on your front leg and on your back leg. I'm going to go on the floor so you can see me better. So we're going to first put one hand on the shin side and one hand on the knee side of the front leg, and we're going to lean forward over the knee. And then we're going to push back up. Now this back leg, you can have it in close, you can have it further back. Some people might want to straighten it. Just you can kind of play around with whatever feels good on the back leg. We're leaning over the front knee and pushing back up. Another option is to place your hands on the inside of the foot and on the outside of the knee and lean forward more over the shin. So what feels better for you? We want to kind of work into the hip on that front leg. So you might like leaning over the shin. You might find it more comfortable or a nicer stretch to lean over your knee or some place in the middle. So I want you to just kind of explore where you might want to put your weight. Maybe it's over the knee. Maybe it's kind of between the knee and the shin. Maybe it's leaning forward over the shin. And if you find a place where you might be able to come a little further down and rest your forearms on the floor, you could stay there for a little bit. You might let your head rest on stacked fists or on the floor. Take a moment here to breathe in and out. Take one more breath. And then we can lift our heads up. We can push ourselves up. We're going to kind of lean back and bring those knees up. And then we're going to let both knees drop to the other side. So kind of play around with the position of the back leg so that it feels all right for you. And then we're going to place the hands on either side of the front knee and kind of lean in a little bit. And then go back up. And kind of notice how that feels. You can adjust the angle of your front leg as well. So this, there's a lot of variability in the structure of our hips, mobility of our hips. So some things feel better for some people and things feel better differently done. So now try maybe your hands on either side of the foot and the knee, and then maybe leaning in towards the shin. Some people might like the way this stretch feels better coming this way, more over the shin. Or you might be somewhere in between, leaning over the shin or leaning over the knee. So I want you to just kind of play around with this, the different angles, the different positions, and see if you can find the angle that allows you to feel a nice stretch into that leg that you're leaning over, into that hip. And if you find that place that feels right for you, you might consider dropping further down. You might let your forearms find the floor. You might let your head rest. You could have a block or your stacked fists, or your head might go further down. And we're going to take a few breaths here. One more deep breath in and out. And then we'll lift our heads up Bring our hands to the floor and lift our chest up. And we'll just lean back and straighten our legs out. Maybe shake them out a little bit. All right, we're going to make our way to our lying down position. So before you lie down, you might want to put on a layer. You might want to put on your socks. You might want to grab a blanket or a pillow so that you can be nice and comfortable as you lie down. And as we make our way to lying down, if you want to do one more thing, maybe give your knees a hug or just whatever you want to do, take your legs out or up or anything, go ahead and do that. You might want to, one little final movement to feel complete. And then when you're ready, you can extend your legs out on the floor. And relax your arms at your side. Again, maybe that sigh kind of releases out of you. So we drop into this time and space of relaxation. We're asking our minds and our bodies to focus and do this and do that. And very structured, focused awareness. And now we transition to unstructured. Instead of focusing intently on one thing, we're just going to let our minds open up. Let the mind and the body now just rest into the fullness of the experience of letting yourself be as you are. Just allowing yourself to find whatever state you naturally drop into when you're not doing, when we're not striving to achieve or to be in any particular way. When we're allowing ourselves to just relax into the state of whatever it is that we find ourselves in this moment. And being okay with it. Just be as we are. So now as you continue to lie back, I'm going to share with you a self-compassion practice that is a practice to help us rewire our brains for resilience. So this is sort of like a self-compassion break. And there's ways to go about doing this. So first of all, I want you to imagine a time when you got down on yourself. I think a lot of us are really hard on ourselves. And imagine a time when you were critical of yourself. And then I want you to pause and take your hand, you can take one hand or both hands, and place them on your heart. Because we find that when we do this, when we place our hands on our heart, it releases oxytocin, the hormone of safety and trust. So just this practice of taking a pause and placing a hand on our heart when we find ourselves being mean to ourselves or judgmental or negative, just this practice can be a self-compassion break. But to go further into this, as our hands are on our hearts, let's empathize with our experience of being down on ourselves and say to ourselves, this is hard, or acknowledge how it feels when we get down on ourselves. This is painful, or ouch, this hurts. Acknowledge this experience, how it really feels. Acknowledge and care about yourself when you experience something distressing. And then we can take it even further and we can repeat these phrases to ourselves. May I be kind to myself in this moment. May I accept this moment as it is. Because acceptance is the first step to overcoming the consequence of whatever the misfortune is, the negativity. So may I accept this moment as it is. And then the next layer is to say to yourself, may I accept myself exactly as I am in this moment. Because the paradox is that when we accept ourselves as we are, it is then that we're able to change ourselves. And then the final phrase, it was, may I be kind to myself, may I accept this moment, may I accept myself in this moment. And then the final phrase is, may I give myself all the compassion that I need. You are deserving of your own compassion, as others are. So one more time, may I be kind to myself in this moment. May I accept this moment as it is. May I accept myself as I am in this moment. And may I give myself all the compassion that I need. So maybe take one more breath of compassion. And then you can release your hand off your heart if it's still there. If you would like to stay longer resting in your final relaxation, feel free to do so. You might just close your computer. Otherwise, if you want to start to transition out, you might open your eyes, bring your feet to the floor, gently roll to your side. Take a moment or two on your side to transition. And then when you're ready, make your way up to sitting. You may choose to close out your practice with a few moments for some quiet reflection, meditation, prayer, gratitude. So grateful for these practices, for the love and compassion that we have within us, that now maybe we take and we share out into the world. I thank you all for being here. Peace.